Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well.
As you
In
wish.
today's video, I want to share everything I know about the early phase of the game. Trust me, one of the most important principles and tactics for winning a match is having a good draft. And a good draft depends on several key points. The most important things is understanding what heroes your team actually needs, and let me explain this properly. In Dota 2, a standard team consists of two supports and three cores. Among the three cores, two are
Middle
secondary
tower
cores
is
and
under attack.
one is the main carry, which is position 1 and usually deals the highest damage in the
Move.
game. When you're drafting, you need to follow certain rules. First of all, your team must have two supports, and these supports should be able to control enemy heroes and to some extent deal damage or provide healing during fights. For
Fair enough.
example, standard supports like Nyx Assassin can stun enemies, control them in fights, and deal decent damage at the same time. On the other hand, a position 5 hero like Oracle or Dazzle focuses more on healing and saving teammates. And throughout the game, they provide important information by placing wards. For position 3, you usually want a hero like Mars, who can deal damage, initiate
All right.
fights, and help control enemy positioning so your team can fight more efficiently. Position 2, mid lane. Uh, Dislikes heroes generally fall
I
into
go, I
two
keep it
categories. Heroes like
perfect.
Puck, Ember Spirit, and Storm Spirit can deal damage, initiate in fights, rotate across the map, and create a space for their teammate to farm. The other category includes heroes that focus more on farming and contribute less to early fights. That's why it is very important to learn mid heroes who can create a space in the early game, rotate to other lanes, and support the team when they are needed. Now, position 1, which is usually the hard carry, should be a hero that can counter enemy supports and deal a lot of damage later in the game. There are generally two types of carries: active carries and farm oriented carries.
What do you
So
say?
you need to pay close attention. If your supports are not very active, you should pick a more active carry so you can fight, gain gold, and get experience. Your pick should always be based on your team's draft. For example, if your position 3 a hero cannot join fights early and initiate them, then you should compensate by picking an initiator in mid or carry position. Or if your mid laner picks a hero like Templar, Assassin, or Alchemist who needs a lot of farm, you must play more
Too
actively to avoid
shady.
losing balance in your lineup. Otherwise, you'll most likely lose the game because your draft becomes unbalanced. Another very important point is identifying what your five hero lineup is missing and filling the gap. For example, if your team lacks stuns, slows,
I'm
or
attacking.
damage,
Rude is
your pick
endless.
should compensate for that weakness while still being effective against enemy heroes. This is what makes drafting difficult because you need to analyze a lot of information in a very short time at the start of the game. You also need to consider whether your heroes are stronger or weaker than the
Only
enemy during the
glory.
laning phase, and different heroes peak at different times. Some are stronger in early game, some in mid game, and some in the late game. As a mid laner, you must always keep this
Telephone
balance
me
in
to a
mind.
kiss.
If you have a weak laner or if your carry is weak in lane, you need to play more actively. Heroes like Ember, Puck, and Void Spirit can compensate for these weaknesses. That's why the most important pick in the game is often the mid lane, and choosing the right mid hero can largely determine the outcome of the match. Now, let me suggest some heroes for each role. For supports, since you usually don't know enemy picks early, it's better to choose a strong meta heroes that are harder to counter and less likely to lose the early laning phase. If you lose the early laning phase, you will lose the match. For position 5, heroes that are very strong right now include Jack Hero, Warlock, Venomancer, Strength, Pugna, Dazzle, and Silencer. These heroes are strong in the early game and remain useful in the mid game. For position, for it's best to pick heroes who can rotate, help multiple lanes, and secure kills. Good choices include Skyras Mage, Snapfire, Speedbreaker, Mirana, Earthshaker, Shadow Shaman, and Lion. Keep in mind that these heroes require a lot of practice. You need to play them consistently to improve your skill. For position 3, team-oriented heroes like Tidelander, Mars, and Primal Beast are strong. Until unit control heroes such as Lycan, Beastmaster, and Enigma are also good choices. And heroes like Legion Commander, Slardar, and Anis need a strong team coordination and don't farm very fast, so your team must support them properly. For carry, you can play heroes like Draw Ranger, Ursa, Slark, Medusa, Gyrocopter, and Juggernaut. Depending on your carry, you should play either more actively or more passively and always respect your hero's timing. Finally, for mid lane, you should be comfortable with two player styles. Active heroes like Leshrac, Ember, Void Spirit, Storm, and Puck. And another one, farming oriented damage dealers like TA, Alchemist, and OD. So always make your picks based on countering enemy heroes and synerging with your teammates. Remember, the best pick is the one that completes your team's lineup. And these were the most important drafting principles and strategies. I hope you succeed in your next games and win your matches more easily. Good luck, guys, and goodbye.